Hello, hello, hello. I am back after a month's absence from Formula One, mainly because of midterms. And anyway, I'm back here. That's the only thing that matters. So after a whole month of absence, we're now back here in Interlagos, trying to get as many points as possible to close up to Alpha Tauri. I think mathematically we have a very small chance of overtaking them in the championship, but we're still gonna try our best. So looking at the aerodynamics chart, I think we should be in the top half, the top three at least. Yes, we are. We are third best in aerodynamics. We have Jeddah in a few weeks' time. Obviously, in this F1 universe, in real life, it's already going to be Azerbaijan next in the 2 weeks later. And looking at the chassis department, we are starting to fall behind a little bit. We are now in the midfield currently. We are fifth best in the chassis department. In the power units, I think we are not the best. I think we're like in the bottom half of the midfield. Yes, we are. Probably I'll consider choosing to another Ferrari unit. Maybe choose a Ferrari unit for our next season. Probably the last season I have in my team career mode. As now we are gonna head towards what do you call it? Qualifying anytime soon, just to check that there aren't any worn components or anything. So we are coming back to a very strong start right now, as we are currently third best, I believe, in the R&D charts. As now, before we get to anything, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications in order not to miss any future uploads. I will be doing a My Team Career mode in Jeddah in probably 2 days time, or maybe even tomorrow. So be sure to stay tuned and stick to that. As now we're gonna head towards our very first qualifying session there in Interlagos. This time I wanted to take it a little bit slow because I felt that I've been rushing quite a lot in qualifying. And as you can see that we are still using the old setup from, what do you call it, from a few months ago, I believe, when we were able to go to 50% brake bias after a few months after the release of this game, which was obviously last year. As you can see, Carlos Sainz is in the top 10 already, quite comfortably. 1 minute 6.7 is now. I've actually
All set.
thought that
Everyone clear?
I need to
Car to
drive off the
track.
pit lane so that I do not wear the tires a lot, compared to when I just go straight to a flying lap. And I will be trying to use this set of soft tires for 2 laps. So I'm not just gonna go back and after that put in a new set of soft tires, because I feel that I'm not using the tires to its full potential. So obviously we're gonna have one qualifying lap, and after that a cooldown lap, then another qualifying lap. So qualifying is gonna take much longer than what it used to be a month ago. As I can see, we are last here. As now we move on to our first lap here. We are gonna cross the finish line anytime soon. As we're gonna cross the line, our timing is being compared to our former teammate, but we are up to P13. Not good enough for 1 minute 7.2. Obviously, I'm a bit rusty here on Interlagos. So here's our cooldown lap, and we're just gonna skip all the way to when we actually gonna finish our lap. As we're gonna go to the exit of Junsao, we do touch the grass a little bit. We do have a green sector 1. I mean a purple sector 1 and a green sector 2. We are almost 6 tenths up on our previous timing, and that should put us in the top 10, and that puts us up to P7. We are 1/10 away from Lando Norris there. And P7 is actually quite good to me, as now at the end of qualifying, Hamilton is the fastest man on the track. We are unfortunately down to 11th place, so we have a chance of getting out of Q2, and that's obviously not good news for us. But at least Carlos Sainz is still carrying the team in qualifying, setting a 1 minute 6.4. I believe he was 2 to 3 times faster than his first lap before we went out. And I'm looking at the bottom five. The two Aston Martins are out, both Alfa Romeos and both Haas's are out. So that's 3 teams out of Q1. And the Alpha Tauris are also not in a good condition like us. They are in 12th and 13th in the qualifying standings. So all we have to do is just hope that they don't score any points. As now we're gonna head into Q2 anytime soon. We're gonna have to find that missing few tenths of a second that we need to get into the top 10 so that we can get to Q3. But obviously we're gonna try really hard here, as now we're gonna go into Q2 here. We're still in the pit lane. As you can see, there's everyone setting up the lap times now. You can see Carlos Sainz is in 6th place currently, 1 minute 6.7, just like in the last qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton having the fastest lap with the two fastest sectors in Sector 1 and Sector 2. But I think that since he's been falling off the pace, I think Verstappen is going to be up there at the top of the timing sheet. So we just see what we can do. As now we're going to go out for our first Q2 lap. Obviously, we're trying to use the soft tires as much as possible, as like what I said in Q1. And so obviously, qualifying process is going to take much longer than it did a month ago. Again, I'm repeating the points, but I think this is one of the few minor changes that you're going to see in the channel. So you're going to see more of these out laps, more of these warm-up laps here. As now we're gonna head towards our first lap here. We are gonna get DRS. We skip all the way to when we're gonna cross the finish line. And what's the timing we're gonna get? We're gonna have 1 minute 6.597, I believe that is. We are 76 thousandths of a second off of Leclerc, and it's only in 9th place. So we are really in danger. As now we're gonna start our second lap into Q2. This is the first lap, and oh, the footage just cut out there. I'm sorry. As now we head into the second DRS zone, going to the braking point into Destino del Lago. We are 1.5 tenths up on our previous timing in Sector 1, and that's a purple Sector 1, which is completely good. And if we do spin the car there, we're gonna crash. No, we are just going to... Oh, we're just gonna get rear wing damage, and that's gonna mess up our entire lap. And I don't think we're gonna have time to set out to go out and set another lap this time. So really nothing that we can do, is just beyond our control, and unfortunately we are out of Q2. Carlos Sainz in P9, and we are separated by 1.5 tenths approximately. So that small margin I could have gained had I not crashed in Destino del Lago. We could have been into Q3 just in the top 10 there, but unfortunately, because of the inconsistent power delivery, or maybe I'm just too early on throttle, I'm not sure, one of those two factors, that resulted in us being out of Q2, and it's just our teammate now trying to get as high as he could in Q3 for the top 10 shootout. So unfortunately, the Red Bulls are gonna get pole position and the second position. They've been very consistent and very quick throughout the second half of this season, so obviously I think they're gonna win the championship. But all we're gonna do is just gonna aim for points, and we're gonna see what we can do on race day. So just sit back, relax, watch the intro, and I'll see you on the grid.
Welcome along then to the place where heroes and history are made. It's where the 2008 title was decided in the final corner. And it's the place, a year later, that Jenson Button stormed through from 14th on the grid to claim his one and only Drivers' Championship. It's Interlagos, and it's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo, and Gasly, Sainz, Russell, Fernando Alonso, and the Black Mamba, Ocon, Tsunoda, Lewis Hamilton, they've taken a grid penalty, and Latifi, Schwartzman, Stroll, Charles Leclerc, and Daniel Ticktum, Joe, Giovinazzi, Mazepin, and Mick Schumacher. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
And I hope you enjoyed the beautiful introduction there, trying to get the adrenaline up. And obviously, what we're gonna do here is just we're gonna underfuel the car, and we are gonna go 10 laps on the soft compound tires. So now here come the 5 red lights for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. The 2 Red Bulls having a front row lockout, and it's lights out, and away we go. Verstappen not getting a very good of a start, so now we're gonna go down the inside of Fernando Alonso into turn 1 of the Senna S. We're gonna go side by side with the Spaniard there, trying to get track position, but he manages to get past me. And now heading into the second DRS zone here, but obviously no DRS until lap 3. We're going into the Sino de Lago now, so we're just going to try to catch up as much as possible, trying to focus on getting better exits, but I still have dirty air. But don't worry, in the next game, dirty air would not be such a huge factor as it is currently right now. So we'll just have to be patient. Now we're going to go into the technical sector 2, and we almost hit Fernando Alonso there, heading into the inside. We might have damage there. Oh, we did collide with him. We did get a warning from the FIA, but thankfully we did not have any damage. We're still side by side with the Alpine, heading into the next right-hander here. All we can do is just hope that we can go past him, and we do get past him. So now here's the replay from when I had almost lost that front wing end plate there. Heading into the braking zone here, we just gave him a bit of a light tap. If I had been 1 pixel closer in the collision, I would have got front wing damage. But thankfully we do not get front wing damage, as now we're going to move on to lap 2, and we're just going to be right behind our teammate Carlos Sainz. We do have a green sector 1 this lap, and I think these corners we're just going to have to focus on getting exit speeds, and the throttle application is quite horrible if you ask me. Anyway, we also have fuel to save as well, as now I'm going to head into Junsao, where Lewis Hamilton made the lunge down the inside of Timo Glock to get his first world title here back in 2008. You can see Fernando Alonso got a better exit than me out of Junsao there, where he doesn't have DRS. He doesn't even need DRS. He's gonna go squeeze us. We're gonna go squeeze him down the inside there, but it isn't going to make him budge at all. As now we're gonna go into the first corner. I tried going for the cutback. I don't know why I keep going for the cutback all the time. I could have gone around the outside, but at the end of the day, we still get the move done, and we still have DRS. So all we have to do is just stick behind and try to catch up to our teammates. As you can see, that's Fernando Alonso and Yuki Tsunoda battling each other heading into the Sino de Lago. George Russell, however, is up to P3, so that's really good qualifying pace from him, I believe. I think it was because of his qualifying lap in Q3. I might consider him replacing Carlos Sainz as my teammate, so we're gonna have to save as much cash as possible if we want to make that possible. And I think Russell is a really good teammate to have, because he's in a midfield car, he's in an Alpha Tauri, and Alpha Tauri are way below in the pecking order in terms of the R&D development charts. So I think Russell will have the pace to help us score some podiums. So we might compete with him much more often, but if Carlos Sainz doesn't keep up his game, then I think I have to replace him for Season 3. As I can see here, now heading into lap 4, we are actually lifting off now because we have to save some fuel. We this time hit the apex, but we could have taken more of the inside curb for better rotation. But now we still have DRS out of turn 3 here. Heading into the Sino de Lago, we're trying to use our overtake mode sparingly, as now we are 4.5 tenths, above 4.5 tenths faster in sector 1. As now here we are at the exit of the Sino de Lago, heading into this corner where Adrian Sutil and Jarno Trulli crashed out in 2008, if I'm not wrong, or maybe 2009, I can't remember. As now we head into this right-hander here. I don't know what is this turn called, but I don't really care. As now we are just right behind Carlos Sainz. We are just above 2.5 tenths behind him, so we're gonna have to make the move anytime soon. If not, we're gonna be wasting a lot of time behind him here. I think Carlos Sainz is a good driver, but sometimes he can be a bit inconsistent like me. That's the problem with the team, inconsistency. That's why we can't score points here and there, because we are strong in some tracks and we are weak in some tracks. That's why we are only in the bottom half of the top 10. So now we have DRS here. This is a good opportunity to get past Carlos Sainz heading into lap 5 here, heading into the Senna SS. We can't go for the move, but you could have seen me trying to go for the Sen, but I last minute backed out of that because I knew that it would just lead into a crash. As now we're gonna head into the second DRS zone here. We are trying to get close to him as soon as possible, but we are unable to do that. As now hit into the apex of the Sino de Lago here of turn 4. Get another green sector 1, but we're still unable to catch up to Carlos Sainz. But I think we're gonna go for the big send down the inside here. We're gonna go for the send. Yes, we are, and then we might have made contact with him. We did make contact with him. But we still got the place. We are in 8th place now, and we just have to hope that he doesn't have any damage. And I don't think he does, because here is 1 lap later at the same corner. Don't be confused, now it's lap 6, because you can see from that transition. And Carlos Sainz is not in the pit lane yet, so he should be okay. So now we're going to try to catch up to Pierre Gasly in the Ferrari now. Pierre Gasly having quite an average season here in this alternate universe of Formula One. The Ferrari is quite inconsistent as well. You can see his teammate Charles Leclerc in P18. As now we're gonna get DRS. We're gonna go around the outside here. We're gonna go on the outside. We're gonna make a last-minute send down the inside here, just like how Kimi Raikkonen sent it on Michael Schumacher back in 2005, if I'm not wrong, when Kimi Raikkonen was still in McLaren. And now we're gonna get DRS from him again. We are gonna be side by side. You can see Daniel Ricciardo going into Destino Del Lago. We're gonna go down the inside of Pierre Gasly into Destino Del Lago, and that's P7 for us. Now he's in the DPB Motorsport sandwich, as I like to call it, because Carlos Sainz is right behind him. And as you can see, now we just have to focus on catching up to the McLarens. And you can see George Russell is holding up Norris, Bottas and Ricciardo. So if he keeps doing this, we might be able to get a podium here, just like how we did in Singapore. So we just have to see what we can do, and we just obviously have to push as hard as possible. As we're heading into Junsao, heading into the exit. Not a very good exit so far, but Daniel Ricciardo is losing time to Valtteri Bottas. The both Mercedes have been falling off the pace quite a lot. As you can see, the Red Bulls are very dominant here. Sergio Perez still leading the race, and Verstappen sitting in P2. As you can see, now we're gonna go into the Senna SS here. We're trying to make a move on Daniel Ricciardo, trying to force him to make a mistake. As we're now gonna head out of the Senna SS, heading into the DRS zone, the second DRS zone. And now we're gonna get closer and closer and closer. You can see Daniel Ricciardo, he's going around the outside. We're gonna send it down the inside, heading into Destino Del Lago. And that's top 6 for us. That's 6th place for us, which is really, really good. So now here we fast forward 2 laps later, all the way to lap 8. We're still 6th place. The Mercedes is very hard to get past. In fact, we are in the same level as the Mercedes in this My Team Career Mode series. So I think next season we might be able to get the championship if we can up our game a little bit. As now you can see here, there's still the same DRS train. George Russell having the pace, with Lando Norris unable to catch up in his faster McLaren. As you can see, we're going to head into the Destino Del Lago. We're really close to Valtteri Bottas here in the Mercedes, trying to force him into a mistake, but we're actually trying to go around the outside. We actually got much better exit speed out of the Destino Del Lago there. So now we're going to go up towards this uphill corner, and we're going to bang wheels with each other. And he's going to go down the inside. I tried going for the cutback. I always thought about going for the cutback. I have no idea why I can't just keep it simple. As you can see at the top right, I actually got a purple sector 1. But I think this is going to be confirm plus chop a red sector 2, because I was really slow fighting Valtteri Bottas. Yes, now we're going to head into Junsao. We lost 5.5 tenths because of our fight with the Mercedes. And obviously we're still stuck in 6th place for quite a long time. Yes, now we're going to head towards lap 10. I think the first few people are going to pit this lap, but obviously not us. As now we are going to box this lap. We're going to box this lap in lap 10. Carlos Sainz is in the pit lane. Gasly is up to 5th place. Verstappen has already pitted. So we're up 1 place here. So we're just going to try to catch up to Valtteri Bottas, maybe even overtake him to focus on catching up to the McLaren. We're going to have to push as much as possible, as now we're going to head into the Destino Del Lago. I can't stay behind Valtteri Bottas for much longer, if not we're going to lose places. But unfortunately we are unable to overtake him. So we're going to head into the pit lane here. Oh, we almost hit him there, as we also locked up the fronts there. You can see how close he was, as now you can see him entering the Mercedes pit box. And that was quite a slow pit stop from Mercedes and McLaren as well. So now we're going to head into our pit box. Are we going to be able to overtake the 2 cars, because they got held up by the rest of the pack? And oh my goodness, we managed to get past Valtteri Bottas in the pit lane, and Lando Norris as well. So we got 2 free positions in the pit lane. So really great job from the pit crew, and really great job to the other cars which held the 2 Mercedes powered cars up. And now we're just going to be fighting for as much positions as possible. So now we're going to get the cutback on Daniel Ricciardo. After we get past Daniel Ricciardo, the other problem is Mick Schumacher, because Schumacher is obviously in the Haas, and last season they were 10th obviously in the constructors. They were last, so you're gonna have to get past him as soon as possible. If not, we're gonna lose a lot of time under this backmarker car. As obviously here, this is very hard place to overtake, so we're gonna have to wait until Junsao, because that's the only chance to go for the send down the inside before we head towards the main straight. As now I think we're gonna send it down the inside, as we are really clean move there, heading out of Junsao. Now he's holding up Daniel Ricciardo there. So now there's Giovinazzi. You can see on the top left he's pitting now. towards the soft tires, I believe it is, as now there's Mick Schumacher going into the pits. There's Ricardo trying to go down the inside. I think he's going to go for the sand, but we didn't manage to react in time. And we did make a bit of contact with him. Now we're just going to have to chase Pierre Gasly if we want to get 4th place. We're going to get too much power off the exit. We're going to spin and who are going to hit Carlos Sainz, and we are out of this race. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I wonder if Carlos Sainz is out. I'm not really sure. So you can see he's on board here. I really hope that he's out. If he's out, then obviously we are both gonna DNF from this race. The first 2 people to DNF. Are we gonna hit him? Yes, we are. Oh, unfortunately, we couldn't do anything about it. He's out. I'm out. So 0 points today. I don't think we have enough races to catch up to AlphaTauri in the Constructors' Championship. And Daniel Ricciardo, he could have been surprised. He might have thought that might be him. Valtteri Bottas as well. Like, I just missed him, and unfortunately we hit our teammate instead of the Mercedes. So not a good outcome at all. I think I was a bit too hasty on the power because I wanted to catch up to Pierre Gasly on the pit exit. As you can see how close we were to to hitting Valtteri Bottas there. And this is a much better angle, as you can see here. I'm sure this is a very bad day for the both of us. And we're gonna get 0 points in this championship, unfortunately. All because of me and my hastiness to catch up to Pierre Gasly for 4th place. And unfortunately this has gone south, and we are gonna get 0 points from this race, and I don't think we are able to get 5th from AlphaTauri at all.
That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
Well, the Flying Dutchman on the top step of the podium once again. I think he is going to win the championship this season. I think Checo Perez is the only one who stands in his way, but I don't think he has the pace to catch up to Max. So I think GG's ready to Red Bull. They already got the Constructors' Championship, and I think they're going to get the Drivers' Championship as well. So obviously the 2 Mercedes off the pace. Lewis Hamilton in 9th, and to make matters worse, me and Carlos Sainz are the only cars that DNF from this championship. And yeah, we don't have enough races to catch up to AlphaTauri. I don't think we can win the next 2 races because we simply are not in the level of the Red Bulls. So I think 6th place is the position that we're going to get for this season in the Constructors' Championship. But had I not crashed, this would have been a huge points finish, maybe even a podium. But unfortunately, again, things went south, and because of my hastiness, we lost. So unfortunately, that's it for today's video. Things could have gone better, but we'll see how in Jeddah to see whether we can turn this around. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and goodbye.